In the 6th century, in the vast deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, a man was born who would go on to reshape the course of human civilization, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Revered by over 1.9 billion Muslims as the final prophet of God, Muhammad's legacy continues to inspire hearts and guide lives around the world, more than 1,400 years after his passing. But who was Muhammad? What was his life like? And how did a man born an orphan in a tribal society become the founder of one of the world's greatest civilizations? Muhammad was born in the year 570 CE in the city of Mecca, a prominent trade and religious center in present-day Saudi Arabia. His father, Abdullah, died before he was born, and his mother, Amina, passed away when he was just 6 years old. Orphaned at a young age, he was cared for first by his grandfather, then by his uncle, Abu Talib. Despite the harshness of life, Muhammad earned a reputation for honesty and integrity. People began to call him Al-Amin, the trustworthy. As a young man, he worked as a merchant and managed trade caravans for a wealthy businesswoman named Khadija, who was so impressed with his character that she later proposed marriage. They remained married for 25 years, and she became his greatest supporter. At the age of 40, Muhammad began spending time in deep contemplation in the cave of Hira, near Mecca. In the year 610 CE, during one of these retreats, he received his first revelation through the angel Jibril. The message was clear. Read, "In the name of your Lord who created." This moment marked the beginning of his mission as a prophet. Initially frightened and unsure, Muhammad was reassured by Khadija and a Christian monk named Waraka ibn Nawfal, who recognized this as the sign of a true prophet. From that day forward, Muhammad began preaching the message of monotheism, that there is only one God, Allah, and that humans are accountable to him. Muhammad's teachings challenged the deep-rooted tribalism, idol worship, and injustices of Meccan society. He called for worship of one God, justice for the poor and orphans, equality of all people, honesty and moral behavior. However, his message threatened the power of the Meccan elite, who controlled the Kaaba and profited from idol worship. As a result, Muhammad and his followers faced years of persecution, boycotts, and even physical torture. In 622 CE, after more than a decade of hostility, Muhammad and his followers were invited to the city of Yathrib, later renamed Medina, city of the Prophet, to serve as a mediator between warring tribes. This migration, known as the Hijra, marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad not only served as a spiritual leader but also as a statesman and peacemaker. He drafted the Constitution of Medina, a pioneering document that guaranteed religious freedom and peaceful coexistence among Muslims, Jews, and others. Over the next several years, tensions between Mecca and Medina led to several battles, Badr, Uhud, and the Battle of the Trench. While not all resulted in clear victories, Muhammad's leadership, patience, and strategic wisdom gained him the respect of his followers and even some of his former enemies. Eventually, in 630 CE, Muhammad and his followers returned to Mecca peacefully and took control of the city without bloodshed. He forgave his enemies and purified the Kaaba, dedicating it to the worship of one God. In 632 CE, shortly before his death, Muhammad delivered his farewell sermon during the pilgrimage to Mecca. His words emphasized the core values of Islam. "O people, your Lord is one. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. A white has no superiority over a black, nor a black over a white, except by piety and good action." Shortly after this final sermon, the Prophet Muhammad passed away at the age of 63 in Medina. He was buried in the very city he helped unite. Muhammad's death did not mark the end of his message. Within a century, Islam had spread across the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe and Asia. But more than political or military expansion, Muhammad's teachings formed the foundation for a vast civilization known for its advancements in science, medicine, architecture, literature, and law. He is regarded not only as a religious figure but as one of history's most successful and influential leaders. Even non-Muslim historians and scholars, including Michael H. Hart and Karen Armstrong, have recognized Muhammad's profound legacy. Muhammad was a husband, father, teacher, leader, and prophet. He lived a life of simplicity, compassion, and conviction. Today, more than 1 in 4 people on earth consider him their guide. Understanding the story of Muhammad means understanding the roots of Islam, and more broadly, understanding the cultural, spiritual, and historical influence of one of the most significant individuals in world history.